Thank you, Kim. Imagine it is a glorious spring day, and you're in a state park in Alabama, and you are extremely excited because you get your first zip line experience. You're on the platform, you're buckled into your harness, your lanyard is hooked to the trolley, and you jump off. Okay, it would help if I had this. Oh my goodness, you're taking in that crisp air. You're surrounded by greenery. And you're chuckling because down there, gators. And you're so glad you're up here 70 feet in the air. And the quiet, it is so silent. And you're enjoying the peacefulness of the moment after a very, very stressful week. And on the tail end of that, you hear a rumbling. And you're wondering, what could that be all the way up here, 70 feet in the air? And the rumbling is getting louder. And it sounds like it is coming towards you as you are zipping this way at 30 miles an hour. And that rumbling, it's starting to shake your line. And your harness is swinging side to side, back and forth. And it's getting louder and louder. And you look and you see big, big, big jets. And as you see those jets, you looked backwards a little too much, and you ended up upside down. And oh yes, that is very funny when you're looking at it now. Imagine zipping 30 miles an hour upside down, 70 feet in the air. Those gators down there looked a lot closer than they did when you were up here. But that's what life does to us. Life turns us inside out and upside down when we least expect it. And then the first thing that happens is panic sets in. You know now that you're zipping pretty darn fast, and the last thing you want to do is head into tower number 2, head first. It's not the connection you want to make. Think about it, everything that you have had to go through over the last few years. The problems, the staffing, the time management, people not showing up, people quitting on the very last day without giving you a notice. We were talking today, Kim and Linda, and they were saying about how people don't show up, or they show up and say, oh, I'm quitting today. This is my last day. And how do you fill those positions? Life does. It turns us inside out and upside down without us realizing it. And every time we go through a challenge, I don't know about you, but one of the favorite phrases that I hear, that's not really a favorite phrase, is, oh, you'll bounce back. Oh, you'll bounce back. Have you heard that phrase before? Yeah. Who wants to bounce back? Do you want to bounce back to where you were a year ago or 2 years ago when you started with the staffing problems? Who wants to stay there? Who wants to bounce back there? Instead, we want to bounce up. And I need my first change maker, AKA volunteer. And I have, where is T from Atlanta? She had volunteered to come up. All right, come on, let's give T a nice big round of applause. Thank you so much. You get to have a little fun. So T, if you will stand on the other side here, this would be awesome. So T, What challenge have you faced? What has knocked you down? What has been some type of a faceplant life dealt you? Staffing? Staffing. How many else have had staffing issues? A few? Okay. So you are now life. Okay? And Henry is my sidekick. One of my clients named him. So you get to hit Henry with all you got, the way life hits us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give her a 1, 2, 3, and on 3, you give it all you got. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, unexpected. I thought it was going to be a punch. All right, you want to do that one more time? Go ahead, give it a kick. Yes. Now, T, hold on. We're not finished yet. Okay, so what happened? So did Henry bounced back, but did Henry move? Did Henry grow? Did Henry learn? No. Henry just stayed there and did the same thing that Henry always does. When we bounce back, that's what happens. When we bounce back, we go back to where we were. Instead of learning, growing, moving, changing. And we don't want to bounce back. So the next time someone tells you to bounce back, say, oh no, I'm not bouncing back. No way. I am bouncing up. Let's give T a round of applause. And before you go, we have a gift for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, MJ.
Appreciate it. Okay. So what is the difference between bounce back and bounce up? Let's move Henry to the side. So imagine a basketball player. Anybody play basketball before? I don't see any hands up. Okay, imagine a basketball player. The basketball player who this player bounces up higher than everyone else on the floor. And he rebounds that ball, he brings it down. Now that basketball player has control of the ball, he's control of the court, he's control of the next play, and possibly the game. He takes control of the situation. When we bounce back, we allow the situation to control us. T controlled Henry with her kick, and then Henry just bounced back. When we bounce up, we're taking control of what we can control. So how do you end up implementing a bounce up mindset? How do you make a bounce back a bounce up? There are 3 steps. The first is power up. The second is play up. And the third is level up. So let's go into the first one, power up. Power up. I am going to give you a set of 5 words. When you hear each word, think about the way the word makes you feel. Does it bring a smile? Does it give you a memory, a fun memory that can make you smile or chuckle? Does it make you feel good? Or maybe it's just neutral. And if that's the case, give it a thumbs up. Now, if it gives you a negative connotation, if it doesn't make you feel good, give it a thumbs down. Got it? Got it? Okay, great. Okay, the first word is wave. It can be a wave like this, or it can be an ocean wave. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up? I see mostly thumbs up. All right, thank you. All right, the second word, magic wand. Wouldn't you like, oh, lots of thumbs up. Wouldn't you like to have a magic wand to get rid of the staffing problems or to help you with time management? That would be awesome. So we had all thumbs up. Okay, the third word is thank you. Thank you. Thumbs up, yes. All right, the fourth word, Buzz Lightyear. I got a chuckle, I got some thumbs up. Oh, thumbs up all the way around. Okay, and the last one, 6-pack. Got got a few chuckles there, okay? And it can be a six-pack like the core. It can be a six-pack of water or adult beverages. And I have a feeling those little chuckles were probably someone was thinking about adult beverages. So we had thumbs up. So those 5 words, we had all thumbs up. Now the next set of words, same thing, thumbs up or thumbs down, depending upon the way it makes you feel. So the first word, mandates. Immediate thumbs down. Yeah. And I can see a little change in your body language. The second word, chemo. Thumbs down. Okay? The third word, I'm sorry. We got a mixed bag here, and this is one we always get a mixed bag with. We have some thumbs up and some thumbs down. All right? The fourth one, radiation. Thumbs down. Okay? And the last one, grumpy people. It can be grumpy clients, grumpy coworkers, grumpy friends, grumpy colleagues, whatever, grumpy people. All thumbs down. Who wants to deal with grumpy people? So we had the first set of words, all thumbs up. The second set of words, except for I'm sorry, all thumbs down. Back in the fall of 2016, I pulled my family together. I needed to share some news with them. And we had a great dinner, and we were laughing, having a good time. And my children are adult children. So we had a few adult beverages in there, too. So then afterwards, I went ahead, and we all went into the living room, and then I shared the news with them. I had been given a prognosis. I was given a 20% chance of surviving over 5 years if chemo didn't work. And chemo had a 50% chance of working. I could see their body language change immediately. When we were laughing and having fun, they had the body language of an athlete who won the game. They were happy, smiles on their face. And then after I shared that news, I could see their body language was that of an athlete who lost the game. Big difference. I knew that day that I had to take control of the situation of how our conversations would be over the next 15 months of treatment. And I knew that I needed to make changes in the verbiage, because if I didn't, I would lose control and power and the direction of my conversations with my kids, with my coworkers, with my colleagues, and with my clients. I also knew my brand is about bouncing up. And if I couldn't take this situation and turn it around, how could I expect to share what I have with others and have them bounce up? Now, those words that you heard, that first set of words, they're actually the flip it words for the second set of words. And I got the idea from that from a manager back whenever I was working with the senior population with independent living. One of my managers, we had 6 residents who you would consider grumpy. They were not so nice, if you know what I mean. And he always said, oh my goodness, we're going to take those 6 people, we're going to put them in a 6-pack, and we're going to ship them away. So anytime we had to talk about those 6 people, we called them the 6-pack. Oh, another one of the 6-pack, they're acting up again. So it became a fun way for us to talk about something that was not always a fun situation. So 6-pack is the flip it for grumpy people. Now, going back to my own story here, magic wand became the flip it word for chemo because I believed it would work. And radiation, Buzz Lightyear, because the machine was big and it clicked, That became the flip it word for radiation. Now, one of my clients who's in transportation, she said every time she mentioned the word a new mandate, her team, she could see them sag and they would get grumpy and they were not having a good day. So instead of saying mandates, anytime there was a change with mandates, we just called a wave. Oh, here comes another wave. Oh, here comes another wave of change. And she said whenever they talked about waves or waves of change, she didn't have that yucky body language from them, that negative feeling from them. So wave became the new word for mandates. And then the last one, you're probably wondering, well, how does thank you and I'm sorry work? What's the first thing we say to somebody whenever we are late? I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. Instead, what if we change it? What if we change it to say, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Because now it takes it away from being about us, I'm sorry, and it takes it into being about the other person. The focus is on the other person. Thank you. Thank you for waiting. And it changes the direction of the conversation. It changes it from being negative to being positive. Flip it. Now, if you look in your app, there is a workshop that actually walks you through the flip it method. And just to go through it briefly, what we want to do for flip it is write down in one column whatever negative word you have. And then look at each word, and you want to flip it to a positive. The same way I mentioned with a set of 5 words. And then once you do come up with the flip it word, say it out loud 3 times. Because we want to cement it in our brain. And the reason you want to write it down is write it down, make it happen. Get it out of your head, get it on paper. And then when you flip it, you write that down, say it out loud 3 times so that we can release the negative and we can bring in the positive. That is the power of our words. The power of our words change our direction. The power of our words, they change the way that we look to others. It can change our brand. I know. I did it. And if I can do it, you can too. And that's the first step when it comes to bouncing up instead of bouncing back. And that's power up, the power of your words. All right, number 2, the second element here is play up. Play up. Anybody here have ever had a teenager who you had to share a car with? Anyone? Share a car with? When my son was going from his senior year into his first year in college, he graduated from high school, he was going to his first year of college. He had gotten a small scholarship with a D3 school for basketball. And he would go during the summer to the courts to practice, to play, to get in shape. And this one day he came home and I had the car next. He had it first, I had the car next. And if you've ever had a teenager who borrowed your car, sometimes they tend to leave it on empty. Yeah, I see some shakes, you know. Well, this one day I was in a hurry and I go out to the car and it is on empty. And now I am not happy. It was not a bounce up moment for me. So I go marching back into the house and I'm like, Josh, what are you doing? Where did you go? You said you were going to the courts. It's 5 minutes from our house. And he said, Mom, I didn't go to that basketball court. Like, what do you mean you didn't go to that basketball court? It's 5 minutes from our house. He said, because the D1 players aren't there. So, it's like, but there's a big difference between the players near our house and the players in the city. They're D1 players. And I still didn't get it. He'd explain it again. D1 players like Pitt. I'm like, oh, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm like, oh, now I get it. He said, when I play against a D1 players, he said, I'm a D3 player. They're faster than me. They're stronger than me. They have better techniques than I do. When I get on the court with them, they make me stronger as a player. They make me faster, and they help me understand the game better because they have more knowledge than I do. Like, I let it sink in. I let go of being mad that I was on empty, and I thought, that's brilliant. Something I never thought about. And it made me think, who is in my circle that is 2 steps ahead of me? Because that's what he did. He was looking for someone 2 steps ahead of him. So who was in my circle, my business circle, who was 2 steps ahead of me? That's a play-up player. Someone that can make you better, stronger, improve what you're doing now. And that play-up player is one of the people that will be on your power team. 1:30 today, power team, I'll be leading that. Join me. It's one person on your power team. Now, how many have heard the Jim Rohn quote? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. We have a few people that heard it. Okay. Great quote, very popular. It's one of Jim Rohn's most popular quotes. So it makes you think, and it made me think that day, who were the 5 people that I spent the most time with? And I will say, I did not have 5 strong people in my life that day when Josh mentioned the D1 players. So I knew I needed to make changes there. So your play-up player is someone that can help you reach a goal. It's someone who can help you improve what you're doing. It's someone who can make you stronger in your career. Your play-up player. That's one of 5. Join me today at 1:30 for the other 4. So that's the second step. That's your play-up player. So the third step, this is level up. Level up. How do we level up? One of the best ways that we can level up is going from reactive to proactive. So how do we do that? How do we go from reactive to proactive? So with this demonstration, I need 2 change makers to come to the stage. All right, in the corner there, I met Jeannie and Joanne. So I'm going to call you 2 up there since we don't have any volunteers. All right, let's give them a round of applause. You get to have fun. All right, choose your color. And you get a wand. And you get a wand. Okay, and you'll need to face, how about if we have, Jeannie, we'll have you over here. And then we'll have you over this way a little bit. Thank you. All right, I need someone who will be a judge. So Kim, would you like to be a judge? Okay, great. I'm going to put 15 seconds on the clock. So here's what we're going to do. From this half of the room over, you're Team Purple, and you're cheering for Team Purple. You're cheering for Joanne. All right, and from this side over, you are Team Green. You are cheering for Jeannie. So we want to cheer nice and loud because we want our team to win. All right, and Kim, you might need to move over a little bit in the middle because you're our judge. Now the goal is to see who can make the most bubbles in 15 seconds. So I'm going to put 15 seconds on the clock. Oh, I don't have my phone with me. What's your first name? Becky. Becky, could you put 15 seconds on the clock? Okay, ready, go. Woohoo! Good job, ladies. Okay, so before we get to Kim, and I do have, you can put the bubbles down, I do have hand wipes for you. Not my first rodeo. Okay, and then I'll have a few questions for each of you. So what did you find? Yeah, they get sticky. What did you find when you started to blow bubbles?
It was nice that my team was encouraging me.
Okay.
I got stressed out.
You got stressed out.
I want to win.
That competitiveness. Yes. So it made you reactive.
Yeah.
Yes. And were you able to blow bubbles, a lot of bubbles, or did you struggle with some of them?
Well, of course I struggled with some.
Okay, and those ones that did you find that if you slowed down a little bit, you were able to make them work?
Yes.
So again, when we're reactive, we're trying to go fast and we didn't make the bubbles. So yes, so that's exactly it. So they're in a competition. Your heart rate, did it start beating fast? Did your hand shake a little bit?
Yes.
A little bit? So they were reactive. They had all the emotions and actually the actions of being reactive. Anytime that we are pushed into a situation, whether it's a challenge, a setback, or a change, we end up being reactive. And this, although it looks like fun, it looks a little silly, it's a perfect demonstration. So once you slowed down, were you able to make more bubbles?
Yes, but it took me a while to realize that.
Okay, did you hear that? It took her a while to realize that she needed to slow down in order to make those bubbles. And that's what, because we don't take the time to stop. We don't take the time to pause. We just go straight into action. So good job. Good job. Okay, let's give them a round of applause, but hold on before you go. All right. And
Well, Team Purple had a lot more bubbles with bigger bubbles. Team Green had smaller, but a lot of smaller bubbles.
good one. Good one. Okay, hold on. I have a gift for both of you. Oh my goodness, let's give them another round of applause because it is tough to do that. You're welcome. There you go. You're welcome. Appreciate it. That is not an easy thing to do when you're under pressure, you have a time limit, you're in front of an audience. And it's perfect because it's a great demonstration to show what happens when we are reactive. So these bubbles are actually a way that you can de-stress. And this comes from a colleague of mine. Her name's Laura Greco, and she is a burnout expert. She works with a lot of fellows, residents, and physicians. So you know they do have a lot of stress. And one of her suggestions is to take bubbles and then blow them because you have to slow down your breath in order to make a bubble, which our ladies here found that out. So when you slow down your breathing to breathe out, it actually slows down your heart rate and it distresses you. Plus, it reminds you of childhood, which can make you smile. So that's a tip for you. The next time you feel yourself stressed out, pull a bottle of bubbles. And ladies, you get to take these with you. Pull a bottle of bubbles and just go outside and blow some if you can't blow them inside. So that's one way to move from being reactive to proactive. Okay, now I need 3 volunteers, 3 change makers. 3 change makers. Can I have someone from the back? And we have not had a guy yet. We've had all women. Let's get a guy or 2 up here. Come on. All right, we have 2. I need 1 more change maker. All right.
I'll take a different path.
That's okay. Take whatever path you would like to get here. I need 1 more. Okay, we have. Oh, no.
Volunteers.
She tricked me.
Jim Payne, you done moved. You come out. No, you don't. No, he's supposed to bring in a microphone.
Thank you.
Come on, Jim Payne.
Thank you.
I can't see you now, so come on. There's only 2.
I need 1 more. 1 more. All right, here we go.
It's not that hard.
No, it isn't. And I help you out. I got the question on the back. Okay. All right, let's give the 3 of them a round of applause. All right, and your name?
William.
William. William, where are you from?
Tifton, Georgia.
Got that southern accent.
No.
Jack Ty from Denver.
Okay. Jack?
Hi, Steven Stovall from Missouri.
All right, thank you. All right, since you were the first one up, you get to choose your color. Would you like red, green, or yellow?
Red.
Red?
I'll do green.
You'll do green?
Okay.
Okay, and you get yellow. Okay, so what? Okay, William, because I forgot. Okay, William, what had you choose in red?
Go Dogs.
Oh, okay, makes sense. What had you choose in green?
Just a green light. I don't know. Just giving me the go ahead, I guess.
The go ahead, good. Okay, what do you think about yellow? You got stuck.
But I got one.
That's right, you did. Now that's a bounce up mindset. Did you hear that? Yes. So we've all been to a traffic light. Put this here for a second. We've all been in a traffic light. We know when we get to red, we stop. What happens when we get to yellow?
We go faster.
There's always one. There's always one. Yes, always one who wants to go through that yellow light. Yes. Okay, you're right. Sometimes we do. Okay, and what happens with green? We go. With changing from being reactive to being proactive, this is called the traffic light approach. So the next time change happens, or if you're stuck on stage blowing bubbles, the first step is to think about red. And we're going to what? Stop. And then we're going to switch these 2 guys. And then yellow. Instead of us going faster, we're going to evaluate. We're stopped or paused, whichever word you like better. And then we'll evaluate. Evaluate the situation. More than likely, Jeannie and Joanne evaluated if they couldn't make those bubbles and then slowed down. And that is what I believe it was Jeannie had shared. She slowed down. Evaluate the situation and then move forward. And then for the last one, before you go, improvise. Improvise. Look at go or green as improvise. What can you do right now with what you have? We don't always have everything we need the way we need it. So what can you do right now with what you have? So William, let's go to you for a question here. So when do you find you need to intentionally stop?
Have a roadblock. I mean, it's like things happen in the industry, and you just have to stop and take a breath and reevaluate. You just do.
You do. Have you recently had a roadblock happen to you?
Yeah, construction costs are now like 50% more than they were a year ago.
They are.
Yeah,
And that's if you can get everything.
that's
'Cause
if.
the supply chain, I mean, there's another roadblock right there.
Right.
Okay, thank you. All right, when do you find, I had to think about which question I gave you. It would have helped you to evaluate a situation.
We, like a lot of folks, we had serious staffing issues a couple of years ago. Turnover was, we were about 75% turnover annually. It took a while to get through my hard head as to what's the causation for that. And so we had to take some time, evaluate what those were, and try to fix that. So we're down about 10% this year, but it took some time to take a step back.
Okay. So can you give a tip to our audience here? Because we have a lot of people that are in that situation.
For us, being a hospital-based program, we never said no. We took every patient that was referred to us, regardless of whether we had the staffing, whether we had facilities. We never said no. Well, the problem with that was, to our senior leaders, then we didn't have a problem. We always had space, right? So by always taking them, we were our own worst enemy and creating a perception that we weren't full, that we could take more patients. So we stopped that. We looked at resources, looked at staffing, facilities, and said, here's our max. It just made sense, ER is going to divert, ICU is going to divert, but we never did. So we just set up a model that was approved from a staffing perspective, and we were full, we were full. So now we're able to open a new facility and have the resources, because it's apparent that, we have to have those resources to care for the patients.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. All right. So when is a time where you improvised or your team has improvised?
Yeah, so I'm a banker, just a quick heads up. But I guess right now, as everybody knows, interest rates are going up, and it's harder to lend money. So kind of our improvisation, or just getting creative, is offering different types of products, and to give those rates that are maybe more flexible for the industry, so that when rates are at its high point right now and they go down, you can take advantage of that.
Okay. So you're creating something new to help.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. What do you say? Give them a round of applause. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Hold on, I have a surprise for each of you too. Okay. One for you, and one for you. Okay. Good job. The traffic light approach, it's an easy technique to implement into every single day. Anytime that we do face some type of a challenge, when we stop, give ourselves a moment to just take in what is happening. Give ourselves a moment to feel whatever we're feeling. And then after that, evaluate. Evaluate the situation. Ask for help. Ask for feedback. Pull together what I call the power team. Ask them for solutions. Ask them for things that can help. Ask them for ideas. And then our green, improvise. You heard today, 2 people actually were able to improvise. So what can you improvise? What can you do right now with what you have? And I know that doesn't help you immediately, but it will help you in the long run. And I'll give you a short example of how I used improvise. I used a traffic light approach and ended with improvise. When I was, as I had mentioned, I had been given a pretty dire prognosis. And one of the things that I was told was I needed to keep active in the way of walking, because whatever I was given, that wonderful cocktail that did keep me alive, was also the one that the PA told me that they didn't give to most people because most people would not survive it. So one of the suggestions was to walk to push it through the body. Well, it was wintertime. And not only was it wintertime, think about it, winter is flu season. My immune system tanked. So it wasn't as if I could go to the gym or I could go to the mall. It's wintertime, everyone's out Christmas shopping. So in my community is Phipps Conservatory, which Jeannie from Pittsburgh knows about. So Phipps Conservatory, you can buy a membership very, very inexpensively. It was $65, somewhere around there. So 3 times a week, I would go to Phipps Conservatory to walk. So I improvised with what I had. By paying for the membership, I could get in anytime I wanted. It was better than actually having a gym membership. It also was absolutely gorgeous because it's surrounded by plants and flowers and just orchids. Everything you can imagine is in Phipps Conservatory. So it was a way for me to take in the beauty. Also, go with the suggestion of the oncologist to get that exercise to help my body and to stay moving. So what can you do? How can you improvise? Who can help you come up with ideas to improvise? And the one thing I would say is to have 5 or more. Don't stick with one. Come up with more. The more ideas you come up with, the better the outcome will be. And when you think about the word improvise, think about the word, what comes out of improvise is the word improve. Take out the I and the S and you get improve. When we improvise, we improve our life. So that is level up. Level up is all about going from reactive to proactive. So putting all together, the 3 steps to bounce up, the power up, the play up, and the level up is Brittany's story. Brittany is a fabulous young radiology technician. Brittany is one of those people that when you see her, you smile. She has this smile that lights up her face, a vibrant personality, and this vibrant red hair. When she walks into the room, she always has a pep in her step. Until this one day. This one day, she walked into the waiting room, and you could see the stress on her face. You could see it in her facial features. You can see it with the sagging of her shoulders. And she walked over to this woman and she said, "I'm sorry, we can't do your treatment today. The machine is broke. I can't believe the machine is broke again for the 2nd time. I'm so sorry, but you have to go home." And the woman she was speaking to said, "It's okay, Brittany. It's okay. Do you think the machine will be fixed?" And Brittany said, "I don't know. I don't know if it will get fixed. It shouldn't happen again. If it gets fixed, I'll call you." And the woman said, "Okay." It was 7:20 in the morning, and radiology appointments are scheduled every 10 minutes throughout the day. And patients need to be seen every single day. You can imagine the stress they were under. But Brittany forgot about the 300 and some other days that the machine did work. Brittany was focused on those 2 times the machine broke. She's being reactive. A number of hours later, Brittany called the woman, and the woman came in, but before she did, she stopped at a well-known bakery that was known for fabulous, delicious, fun cupcakes. And she bought 2 dozen of cupcakes to take in because she knew that team would be under a lot of stress and probably be a very, very late night for them. So when she walked in with the 2 dozen of cupcakes, she had asked to see Brittany. Brittany came out of the private area. She saw the cupcakes and she said, "My goodness, we should be doing this for you, not you doing this for us." She took the cupcakes and she walked back into the private room. Brittany, a few minutes later, came out with a party hat on her head. And she came out with a fanny pack around her waist. And she said, "It's party time." And she opened up her fanny pack, and inside were party beads. And she started giving party beads to everyone. She started tossing those to the patients, and she gave them to, get some over there, didn't quite make it. She gave one to a guy that looked like a professional basketball player. And he took the beads and he's trying to get it over his head, and he couldn't. And he started laughing, and then everyone in the waiting room started laughing. They started putting on their party beads, and they're having a good time. They're high-fiving people. And that day, when Brittany walked out and said, "It's party time," swinging her beads, she changed the atmosphere and the waiting room. She changed the direction of the conversation for everyone, from her team to everyone in the waiting room. Brittany stopped, she evaluated, and she improvised. And she took the direction from the woman who, let's say, ended up being her play-up player. That's all she needed. She needed just a little glimmer of hope. Brittany bounced up. Brittany didn't bounce back. Brittany bounced up. How can you, moving forward, from today moving on, how can you change a direction of a conversation? How will you be able to stop, evaluate, improvise? When will you need to use bubbles to take some stress off so that you can use the traffic light approach? How can you go from bouncing back to bouncing up? What is one positive commitment you will make today? One. We only need one idea to change. And we all, every one of us, can bounce up. Now these I might be able to get a little further, because each and every one of us can bounce up. Thank you so much.